Hey, what's going on, everybody? I don't know. It's weird. There was supposed to be a 30-second countdown, but it didn't work for some reason. That's kind of crazy, but hey, it is what it is. Who cares? We are live. Wow. So I had a good week this week. Um, Sports wise, we had the AFC NFC championship game, and I don't know. It was what's up? So we got Ryan here. How you doing, buddy? We have Matty Ice Cards here. What's happening, Matty? We had the games going on. I know there's one faithful viewer who is not very happy with Sunday, but you know what? Hey, you know, not exactly sure what happened. Not don't know why, uh, but for some reason, Philadelphia had the answers for Washington. 55-23. They really went ahead and oh, Dom. 55-23. Jaden Daniels didn't play bad. Um, they did what they had to do, and they held them when they had to. And then Commanders defense, or as our buddy John says, Redskins. Redskins defense just couldn't stop them. Could not stop them. Larkin, how you doing, buddy? Barkley, 55-23. So all right, well, let me consider it. Let me consider it. Um, Barkley, 15 carries, 118 yards. He did have 3 TDs. I mean, it wasn't, I don't know. It was I didn't get a chance to watch much of the game. We were away this weekend, and I was just having some issues trying to get it on TV, but it is what it is. Again, overall, hey, congratulations to Washington. Had a great season. I mean, to go that far, to get to the AFC Championship game with the rookie quarterback. Now, I know, there have been times when rookie quarterbacks have maybe gotten that far before. Um, but a lot of those, some of those they weren't, as the quarterback play was not as important as it was for this team. Some of those other teams, they had big time running games, had big time defenses, and all the quarterback had to do was, basically manage the game. Commanders depended on, um, Jaden Daniels to run that offense, to be the guy doing everything. So again, I give them a lot of credit for what they did. Going to be interesting to see, you know, um, what happens, how they continue to grow. Uh, you know, will will Cliff Kingsbury, will he stick around? How much of Daniel's success was the play calling? What's going to happen there if he decides that he's going to go, and take the what? I think he's going to interview for the New Orleans job. So hey, anything possible there. Oh, look who's in the house. Look who is in the house. Excuse me. So, from that standpoint, quick, quick, quick change. Two things. Number one, um, Dom, I did the video. It'll be out tomorrow. So the video will be out tomorrow. The grading reveal. I reveal Maddie's Dom's cards and my cards that Gentile grading took care of. And we thank him for that. Very, very well. Very, very well. Big John, happy birthday, Big John. How you doing, buddy? Hey, another good show last night. You and rolling with FD. I mean, guys, check out Tuesday nights. Look, they're late also. They're a later show, and they go till like the wee hours of the morning. But John and FD, they do a really good job always having guests. They try to have guests on, just like I do and everything. You're talking sports, all different. They really, really good show. great conversation, great interaction. So definitely go ahead and you know, and check them out. And then also, a couple days ago, Huddle Card Collections 4th year anniversary on YouTube. Man, for 4 years been making videos. Uh you were very passionate last night, 4 years and just pretty amazing. I didn't, didn't go ahead and realize it, but 4 years, 857 videos later. Not that bad, not that bad. So you know, looking to go, oh, who knows how many more, but if we'll keep coming back and everything. Yes, sir, Dummy. You, Big John, Matty Ice, Kyle, Ryan, just love you too, Ryan. Just the support that you guys give is unbelievable. So again, uh, 857 videos. Holy crap. That's a lot of videos. But hey, I guess we're gonna have to, I guess this one will be technically 858, which means we definitely got to plow through another 142 to get to 1,000 videos. That'll be pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. So hey, we are live on Rumble also. So I don't think I've ever had anybody watch live on Rumble, or if they do, they never make a comment. So I don't know if you can make comments or not. But hey, just stay here, please. Stay here, please. Um, but again, good game. Good first game. Eagles earned it. They went ahead and they did everything they had to do to slow Daniels down. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Rumble is just it's another video type site. Speaking of Rumble, no wait, stop it. We're gonna get to football. Then the second game, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. Phew. Wow, what a game! I mean, controversy just keeps following the Chiefs around. I don't understand. You look at some of the plays, some of the calls and stuff, and it's like, what the heck is you know, what the heck is going on? I it is what it is. I mean, um, I really hope that, I hope there is integrity. I can't say that there is, can't say that there isn't. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you look at some of the stuff. I mean, what what goes against Kansas City, right? I mean, they need a spot. Buffalo needs, whatever, a foot to get a first down, and what they only get, 10 inches and stuff, and they're short there. I just don't, I don't understand that one with Josh Allen and everything. I mean, I could understand the booth not overturning it because maybe you didn't get a clear view of him on both sides. It's kind of hard. The one side where you actually see him and the football, Chris Jones is in the way. But I mean, if you, again, I guess they can't make an assumption. They have to have clear evidence. So if they saw the ball where the ball was, then I think there could be a difference. Um, but there, when it was, I think it was when Dalton Kincaid got tackled, and before his knee hit the ball. I mean, again, we use the yellow line. That's all we as people watching can use. Use that yellow line. We did him. Who knows? Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know. I doubt it hasn't been. I mean, typically the ball placement ones are a lot more obvious. It's like a real obvious mistake. Right. The ball was behind him, but I'm saying, I don't know. I mean, I just, I, it's, whether it's right or wrong, what they say, right? Perception is reality, and it makes it look as though things aren't, the way they should be. So, it was that, it was there. I'm going to be honest with you. Um, I don't think Buffalo should have ever really have had a chance to have that last drive. And why do you say that? Because what was it, like 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes left when Pachenko made that run, he went out of bounds after he had the first down. He should have either slid or turned in and got tackled in, and Buffalo would have had to use another, would have had to use another timeout, and the clock would have went down, and they would have had way, way less time to even attempt to do it, to do anything. Right. The Chiefs are very penalized. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Logan. It's just it's weird. You know, People make a big deal about it, but when you again, if you just use that Josh Allen play, the truth of the matter is this: there was no way that replay could have changed that one. When you look at you never had a clear view of the football and where it was on the field. There's no way you could do it. So I don't have a problem with it. I mean, honestly, I'm I'm happy that Kansas City went. I'm happy that Kansas City won. And and I'm not a homer. I'm a New York Jets fan. Ain't no way I'm a homer. I do like Pat Mahomes. I do like Patrick. You know, I just like the I like the way he plays and everything. I just think, I think he's just, a remarkable quarterback. My reasoning for wanting them to go ahead and beat Buffalo was so that we have the potential to see something that has never happened before. And that's going to be 3 Super Bowls in a row. And I understand there might be people that get turned off by it and everything like that, but you have the potential to see history. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for the opportunity to come back on February 9th and watch the Super Bowl and see potentially history being made. Something that, you know, it doesn't happen very often. Look at sports completely, whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, football, you know, WNBA, you look at, college, you look at any kind of sports. How often does a team win 3 in a row? Now, it used to happen a lot more in hockey, you know. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gotta watch this year. If I don't go into the city, you shouldn't go into the city. You should be home watching it. They're 2 points away from being in 7 straight Super Bowls, and they get no credit. Yeah, dude, you know, it's kind of like they're getting to be like, I hate to say it because and it's funny because I hate that team. I can't stand them, the Patriots. You don't go ahead and you know, you don't realize, you don't take advantage, you don't understand what you're actually seeing, right? Because you don't look at it as a straight as a fan, as a football fan. You're like, oh my God, them again, them again, them again, right? And I think that's where the problem is, it's if you sit back and you look and you go, wow, you're seeing something that is amazing. You're seeing something that in reality shouldn't happen especially in the NFL. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen in the NFL when you have, supposed to have all this parity, when you have these guys getting these contracts and everything. This should not happen. You know, Patrick, it's not Patrick got a lot of money. He's not signing for, like what Brady was signing for. Patrick is right up there and everything on his team and stuff, but it's just amazing. I mean, it's like I said, it's an amazing thing to watch, from that standpoint. Yep. Pat Mahomes, solid fella. Yep, he did play for the Mets and everything. We got a man. Chiefs going to walk all over Philly, make them cry. Yeah, I know. I tell you, it's going to be interesting. Um, Philadelphia has a really good defensive line. Um, if if the Chiefs' offensive line can give Patrick, time and stuff, yeah, then I mean it's going to be very very hard for for Philadelphia to win. But now don't forget, I mean, man, Philadelphia does have an X factor. I mean, you got Saquon Barkley. Now the problem you have is this. People are, they're 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 overlooking the Chiefs defense. People are. They really, really are overlooking the Chiefs defense. When you excuse me, when you think about that defense, when you look at that defense and how that defense plays, they tackle really, really, really well. Um, I'm sure. I'm sure McDuffie will be on AJ Brown. I- okay, Brown's going to get his, but man, Duffy is going to be tough. Exactly. They couldn't keep Hill. Yeah. Willie Gray, Sanders, Ward, lots of guys. Yeah. They couldn't keep him because of that contract and stuff. And they just, okay, plug and play, plug and play. We'll see. They are, yes, they are a lot better. You know, they are a lot better, and they will be better next year. Again, I think, Mike, the key is to me, John, I don't know what's going to happen with him. What's going to happen with Kingsbury? I think he was a key to this. If he gets an offer to be a head coach someplace else, you know, who knows if that, changes. Yep. Jalen Carter, I mean, that's a big statement right there. That is a big statement, but that dude is unbelievable. And how the hell does that guy fall to them in their draft? I mean, how does that happen? How does Jalen Carter go ahead and fall that far in that draft? How many people were that stupid? I mean, the guy was a stud, or was it just because he got in trouble in college? And don't get me wrong, I'm not racing and everything, that's bad stuff. I'm not trying to go ahead and downplay that in any way, shape, or form at all. At all. But I'm just saying, crazy. Only reason Billy and close and lucky recovered off on my. Yep, that's true. The Chiefs did drop 2 interceptions. That is true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Character concerns, and unfortunately, now there's people going, damn it, I wish I would have taken him. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Same thing happened to Kelsey. That's true. That's true. Um, but I mean, it was still a remarkable game. And like I said, if Pachenko, uh, if he doesn't run out of bounds, we're probably not even talking about that what Buffalo did. Now, by the same token, though, come on, you know, we criticize all these guys and everything. Lamar and with John and FD talked about it, on their show last night. And, John, sorry that I'm stealing it from you. Everybody criticized Lamar Jackson for the way he played against Buffalo. Now, people are going to say yes, but Lamar had 2 turnovers, a fumble, and interception. Josh had none. Yeah, but Josh had 3.5 minutes or so, or somewhere around 3.5 minutes to march his team down the field to be able to get at least worst case scenario, a game tying field goal, and he couldn't do it. Josh didn't get it done. Um, you know, is Josh, is he one of those guys where, hey, I can do everything I can, but when my team needs me the most, I can't? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It's going to be hard for a lot of these guys. It's going to be hard for us to judge a lot of these quarterbacks. Let's say Justin Herbert does a lot better next year and the year after that. but the Chiefs are still there. They still got Andy Reid, and they still got, Patty Mahomes, and they still got Steve Spagnuolo, running that defense and everything. Are you going to start to talk bad about them? If Joe Burrow never gets to another Super Bowl, because then oh wow, he's dealing with Herbert, he's dealing with Lamar, he's dealing with Josh, he's dealing with Patrick, and CJ Stroud. Are we going to say the same thing, about Joe Burrow? I mean, we got to, you know, we got to take it for what it's worth. I don't know what more we can really, really do with some of these guys. Um, you know, they are, you know, they're in a tough spot. They are in a very, very tough spot. So you have the Cleveland Browns and you have the Tennessee Titans, who have the first two picks. And there's a chance, that they may go quarterback. I don't think Cleveland is going to take a quarterback. I just have a funny feeling that they are going to. I think they're going to. I think they're going to go Travis Hunter, and I think that they will take a shot on maybe an older veteran quarterback. But you know, yeah, Stroud, Knicks, T-Law gets going. But I'm saying, what if you get Tennessee Titans? What if they take Shador or they take Cam Ward? And what if Cleveland takes the other one? Two more young guys. Look at the division. Look at the conference they are in. I mean, there are. I mean, who knows what Drake may become, in New England. You know, I mean, Tua is not that bad of a quarterback. He's serviceable. He's decent. You look in the South. Unfortunately, you got Matty Ice's Colts, but who knows? I mean, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to poo poo. Richardson. And the problem you have with Richardson is everybody thinks that the guy has been playing, or been a starter forever. I think he started less than 35 games in his career. When you take his college career and his pro career, or maybe 40 games he started as a quarterback. Man, that's not a lot. So he could become something. You look at the AFC West, Patrick, Knicks, Herbert. I mean, who knows what happens, with the Raiders, what they wind up doing. Maybe they don't get something this year, but maybe they stink again next year, and you know they get Arch Manning. I mean, it's just crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, so they're both staying. That's awesome. Good, good, good. That's good for them. Man, I don't know if you need wide receiver help, man. You got Scary Terry, he was good. Brown was good. You have some good guys. What's happening there, Jim? Or if the Steelers find a quarterback, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. When you look at what you have, how things are stacked up and everything. It's AFC is going to be tough, and the thing is, it's not like when you sit back and you look, it's not like you have these quarterbacks that are good quarterbacks, but they are 35, 36, 37 years old. I mean, they're not that old at all. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible, you know, ho how it just seems like, the AFC has sucked so much that they're getting to draft all these young quarterbacks. Then you go in the NFC and you look what they're doing, you know, it's wide open, from that standpoint. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Um, do you think Williams will show up next year for the Bears? I don't know. Is Ben Johnson a quarterback guy? And what I mean by that is Ben Johnson a guy? Did Ben Johnson turn Jared Goff into a much better quarterback? Jared Goff led, he led, you know, He led the Rams to the Super Bowl. He was a Super Bowl quarterback, or maybe he didn't lead them, but that defense did. But from that year, um, but did again? I mean, is he a quarterback guy? Um, he's already said Ben Johnson has already said that he will be calling the offensive plays. So there's another one. First time head coach, and you're going to continue to call the offensive plays. And I guess what they're doing is they're hiring the Denver quarterback, um, passing coordinator, to go ahead and be their offensive coordinator. But Ben's still going to call all the plays. So I don't know how's that going to work. Your first time head coach in the NFL in Chicago. This is not you're expected with having the overall number one pick last year. You're expected to be able to do things. Will he? I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Beast, he hasn't opened them. Right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I don't think Ben Johnson is that type of guy, but I mean he did really good things. He used the personnel very, very well. And they have a good personnel. I mean, for crying out loud, he had the two-headed monster, the running back. He had two good wide receivers, had a good tight end. I mean, Goff just didn't have to, make stupid plays, and unfortunately, he still made some stupid plays, but it is what it is. Uh, from that standpoint, look at Chicago. What does Chicago have? They have some decent runners. They have decent running backs. They have a good tight end. And you just got to go ahead and make sure that the quarterback plays within the system and can do what he needs to do. Yeah, really good O line. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, John. I think it'll be interesting. Um, you know, but what are you looking at in that division? Like, well, what are you hoping for? You got Detroit. They should bring now Detroit. Who knows what's going to happen with them? They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost the defense coordinator. Now we'll see how good Dan Campbell is. We'll really see what he can do because he's going to have to go out there, hire a new OC, hire a new DC, and see if he can go ahead and see if those guys can get the same thing that Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson got out of those players. Going to be interesting. You got Minnesota in that division. I mean, Sam Darnold. I mean, he played like I guess he finally played the way the overall third pick at quarterback should have played. Um, but those last two games, he went ahead and killed himself. And more than likely, you know, I mean, he stays. I don't know, but who knows? Jordan Love, another year experience. That team, young team, good head coach. Who knows what happens there? So even with Chicago in the NFC North, I mean, it's gonna be tough. Gonna be tough. Jim thinks it's Vikings or Lions. Like I said, I think the Lions are going to be very interesting next year, losing both OC and DC. Look what happened with Philadelphia after Philadelphia when they lost their OC and their DC. That following year, they weren't great. So um, it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what shakes out, there and stuff. And if the NFC is very uh, it's very open, but there are there because it's open in my opinion because you know you have you have the NFC South where it's like okay unfortunately one of those teams got to make the playoffs. From that standpoint, I don't know how I don't see when I look at that division. I don't know if I look there and I go okay Atlanta no New Orleans Tampa Bay and who's the other one? I can't remember. It doesn't make a difference, right? Whoever the fourth team is there, but none of them jump out at you. Carolina, no, Carolina's in the AFC. None of them go ahead and jump out at you to make you think, "Holy cow, wow, this is one of these teams is going to be, a 12-win team. They're going to go 12-5." The Falcons should be solid. Yeah, the Falcons should be solid. It's going to be really nice. Michael Penix, dude, looked really good, really, really good. Um, from that standpoint, uh, you know, New Orleans. I don't know. I mean, you got, I don't know. Yeah, you need a new head coach. Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler didn't really show, didn't really show a crap ton. So I don't know about him. Uh, no, it is the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers, I tell you, Bryce Young played a lot better after he came off the bench. He played a lot better. So it'll be interesting to see how they can do. But what do they got, right? True. True. They definitely have some bad stuff there and everything. From that standpoint, I agree. They're going to be they're going to be tough. But you look at that division, Tampa. I don't know. I mean, Baker has played well since he's been there. You got Mike Evans, you got Goblin. They had a lot of injuries. Bucky Irving seemed to go ahead and really, show himself as a really good running back from that standpoint. But who knows? Again, Carolina. I mean, that's going to be one of those ones where if you get it, if there's so much that can happen there, right? There's so much that can happen because of there's really no great team there. And then even if you look at out west, the AFC West, I mean, sorry, the NFC West. I mean, what's going to happen with the Rams if Matthew Stafford decides to retire? What do they do? Where do they go for? Is Stetson Bennett going to be the guy who's going to step up? You know, do do they go after? I don't know, Russell Wilson. Again, I'm not saying Wilson is anything spectacular, but do they go for a veteran? Do they keep? What if Stafford goes? Do they blow that up a little bit and get rid of? Well, not really blowing up a little bit. They don't have a lot to blow up, but do they get rid of Cooper Cup then and try and see what they could do? What happens to that team? The Cardinals. I don't know, man. It's one of those teams where it's weird how you don't see a lot of stuff when it comes to the Cardinals. You don't see a lot of highlights. You don't hear a lot of talk. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, you didn't hear him as, oh my gosh, potentially offensive rookie. I mean, from that standpoint. So who knows what the hell they're doing. Uh, the 49ers are, I mean, they just had so many injury stuff. CMC. What does anybody think about CMC? Is CMC done? Anybody here think CMC, comes back, or is he, what do you think's up with him? And then you have the Saints. The Saints are the Saints. I mean, again, so you look at that, it's amazing how, when you look at that conference between the North and the East, you know, you have a lot of good teams there. A lot of good teams. So that's a tough one. Again, and the AFC, and the AFC is friggin' stacked. Stacked. I mean, when you think about the AFC overall, I know we have to get through this draft, but Chargers got a quarterback, Chiefs got a quarterback, Broncos got a quarterback. So you mean that's all you got is the Raiders need one there. You go to the South, Texans got a quarterback. Jaguars will say they have a quarterback. They paid the man. We don't know. Tennessee's going to get a quarterback because they got the first pick overall. So, again, rookie, you don't know. Colts, young guy, who knows? I mean, you can't sell him out. You go to the North, you got Burrow and you got Jackson, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Who the hell knows what they have? You go to to the East. Patriots got May. Who knows? But I mean, they got a young guy. We'll see what happens. Buffalo has Allen. Miami has Tua. The Jets have, I don't know. You know, you do think it'll make a comeback? Yeah, I mean, I think it's very interesting to see with him. Um, hopefully, um, hopefully them trying to have him come back this year was not something that was kind of like, hey, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think anybody would force themselves to come back, but hopefully it wasn't one of those. Um, you know, hopefully it wasn't one of those ones where he felt pressure to go ahead and come back. From that standpoint, but. And I mean, that's another thing. Like, they just hired back Robert Sala to be their defensive coordinator, and I think what is it? Steve Wilkes, was he the D coordinator there or not? But it looks like Aaron Glenn is hiring him as the DC for the New York Jets. Uh, Going to be interested to see who Aaron Glenn decides he wants to be his offensive coordinator. Uh, I tell you the one thing I don't understand. They hire the coach before they hired the GM, so I don't like that. I like them hiring Aaron Glenn. I wish they would have hired a GM and then a GM go ahead and hire him. I wish that would have happened that way, but it didn't. It is what it is. Oh well, you got to move on from it. But we'll see. We'll see. But I think this Super Bowl, you know, I think it's going to be, I really do think the Chiefs are going to win. I know, I mean, it could be a blowout. I don't know. It just, it's Kansas City that hype, that ready to go. And a lot of people, like, again, don't forget, you know, you have Steve Spagnuolo, who I don't know. I mean, the guy, he's an unbelievable defensive coordinator. I think there are certain guys who, you put them in positions and that's what they should be, right? Like a Spags, he tried being a head coach, he couldn't do it. He's an unbelievable defensive coordinator. You know what? Stay there for the rest of your life, make a crap ton of money, win a bunch of football games, and go down as one of the best D coordinators, in the history of sports. Hopefully that's what he does. Get the three people. I don't think we see them in the Super Bowl next year. Yeah. Norv Turner. Oh, you know, I was liking you for a minute there. Um, yeah, I think they get the three-peat, and then you don't know. Hey, man, things can change. Lachlan would know better, but if they win three, how many of the guys, are going to want more money and everything like that? You know, um, does a Kelsey decide to hang him up? And I'm not saying, they got Gray. They have a couple of tight ends, so I'm not saying that it'd be serious. It would be super devastating. But does Kelsey decide to hang it up after three in a row, or does he want to? Coordinator that kept getting hired. Yeah, it's true. North Turner was one of those guys who just kept getting hired and hired and hired, and stuff at different jobs and everything. So I don't know. I think like I said, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to see history being made. I think that's pretty cool and everything. So baseball, man, still, we're getting ready. My gosh, folks, it is the 29th of January. We are just mere weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training. Man, the Dodgers signed another one. They signed Kirby Yates. So the Dodgers, I think, are going to have what? I think they're going to wind up going with like I don't know, 10 position players, and then everybody else is going to be is going to be a pitcher. They got so much. They're going to go, I think, with an 8-man rotation. It should be great. It should be great. Should be better next year. Get the left tackle sorted. How the receiver. Yeah, yeah. You got Hollywood Brown. Yeah, most definitely. They're not going anywhere. You have Chris Jones in the middle there. You have Bolton. You have McDuffie. You have a good player at each at each level of the defense. Number one, and you have some young guys, you know, who aren't getting a lot of money. Number one. Number two, the wide receivers. Worthy. They seem to finally figure out how to use Worthy. You got Hollywood Brown. You'll get you'll get a Juju Schuster. You'll get that kind of stuff. You have Gray. You have Kelsey. You have Pachenko. You have Hunt. I mean, and you have Andy freaking Reid, and you got Pat Mahomes. You can't discount anything. Dodgers going to have a 2 ERA. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Rashi Rice too. Son of a gun. Caribbean World Series starts Friday. Is that on MLB Network, Dom? May have to catch a couple of those games. But pitchers and catchers reporting. Um, you still got two big fish out there from a free agency perspective. I mean, or I don't know how big, if you want to call them a big fish, but you got Pete Alonso and you got what's his name, Bregman. Uh, Looks like, I mean, who knows what could happen, but I think, there are a number of people who are thinking, that some of the experts think that some of the moves that the Astros have made by shipping off Presley to the Cubs, that they're trying to free up some more money, that they're going to make one final play at Bregman. There were a lot of people who thought a couple weeks ago Bregman was like a sure in for the Boston Red Sox. Not sure, not sure, not sure. Oh man, ESPN Plus or Deportes. That stinks. I don't think we don't get either one of those. Oh, Kim signed with the Rays. Well, that's good. They're not signing everybody. Yeah, it's true. You have Jack Flaherty. So Jack Flaherty is probably let me see if we have free agency tracker. Uh the Cincinnati Reds early today traded for Tanner Taylor Rogers. Kim signed with the Rays, 2 years, 29 mil. Tommy Canale signed with the Tigers. Ryan Stenek re-signed with the Mets. Kirby Yates to the Dodgers. Profar to the baseball team from Georgia. Man, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. If they get any kind of pitching, I mean, their batting order is going to be. And again, they need to stay healthy. But, when you look at an outfield, and the infield that they are going to put out there, that's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. They, unfortunately, you're going to say Estevez to the Royals. Is that their big signing of the year? But you got Flattery, you got Alonso, you got Bregman. Those are probably the three that are people are looking for. Um, you know, then there's talk that San Diego is willing to trade Mike King. They are willing to listen to offers. So there are people who think the Mets are going to make a play for him, but it all depends on what they're going to want. So who knows? You know, what the the Toronto Blue Jays They have what, 20 days left? I think it was what Vladimir Guerrero gave them, was it February 18th as a deadline to see what's going on. Supposedly, they have made two offers to him, but neither one of them started with a four. And Vlad told him what his minimum number that he wanted. So we'll see. The Mariners did nothing, which I don't understand. I mean, I just don't. How are you going? Why are you going to waste that pitching? Exactly. Why are you going to waste those guys? I don't understand. I mean, if you don't want to, I mean, I know they don't make a lot of money. The pitching staff does not make a lot of money. I mean, Julio, I think's the only guy making any kind of serious coin there. And I don't. I mean, when you look at that division, the division is wide open. What are you, the Angels? I mean, the Astros, they've lost. They've gotten rid of a bunch. The you know the Oakland. I'm sorry, in Sacramento or Athletics, whatever the hell we're calling them. They're going to play half of their games in a minor league baseball stadium. What do you think is going to happen there? That division was wide open. Why they wouldn't look at Bregman and Alonso together to bring them in and pop them at first and third, two guys like that on your corners would be incredible. The Rangers could have a bounce back year. Going to be pitching, should be pitching. Um, you know, you know, Seager, what's he going to do? Simeon, they're okay there and there, but they traded away their first baseman, right? Didn't they trade away Nathan? Was Nathan there or was it Josh? No, they had Nathan. What does their depth chart look like? I thought they got rid of Nathaniel Lowe. Yeah, they need a first baseman. They had Simeon. They got Josh Young. They have Seager, Carter, Tavares. They have Langford. They have Justin Foscue. Their pitching is a little light. Pitching is a little light. I mean, they got Evaldi. They got Gray. DeGrom at some point. They got Andrew Haney. I'm not falling asleep on them, but I don't think going into a 3-game series that anybody's going to be losing sleep knowing that they're facing those guys. From that standpoint, they just lost. They had Kirby Yates. They lost Kirby Yates. Uh, did they just sign Dave Robertson, or did Dave Robertson leave there? Aren't they losing Jose Leclerc? Yeah, Leclerc is with the Athletics now, so they don't have Leclerc. They don't have Kirby Yates. I mean, again, not saying that they won't be good, but maybe they go ahead and sign a Jack Flaherty. I mean, that might be something good for them. Yeah, I think they lost Dave Robertson, Ladder and Coomer. Yeah, I'm not. You're depending on two rookies. You're depending on your bullpen. You lost three. You lost three of your bullpen guys. Again, I'm not saying you're going to fall asleep on them. I don't think right now that you will, that you'll lose any sleep knowing you're going into a series. Max Scherzer's a free agent. Um, See what happens with him. Who knows? Maybe he goes back. Maybe he goes back there and helps them out. I don't know. Uh, like I said, I'm not crapping on them. I just don't know if they got. I mean, again, they have good young talent. They have young. They have Langford. They have Evan Carter. Good. They have the solid up the middle with Seager and stuff. True. I mean, but you got Seattle, I mean, Seattle with that pitching staff, that's a team that you can't go ahead and I mean, that's a pitching you can't sleep on. That's the pitching staff that you cannot sleep on. Now, could they get any kind of offense? Like, that's the big question. When you look at what Seattle has right now, that's where their problem is, right? Luke Rayleigh and Julio and Mitch Haniger as your outfield, J.P. Crawford, Urias, Jorge Polanco, Ty France. That's your infield. Cal Raleigh's your catcher, and you got Mitch Carver. You know, Seattle is a top 2, 3 staff, but not much hitting. Yes, I think you mean top 2 or 3, not top 23. Yeah, I agree. They are. So they won't name. There's gonna be. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, maybe they trade Castillo. I mean, that's just there's talk that that he could become available. There was talk that the Mets could potentially be in the market for that guy. So we'll see. Phillies. Yeah, they do. I mean, with Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Walker. Yeah. I mean, the Junkies, Cole, Rendon. They and you got Freed. Yeah. I mean, they'll be decent. I don't know how good they'll be. They lost Clay Holmes. I mean, I think they just lost Tommy Canelli. I think they'll be okay. The Yankees. I'm not sure if they will be. You know, I, I would put Seattle ahead of the Yankees, to be honest with you, Dom. That's starters. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're talking Cole, Rondon. You're talking Max Fried. I think you have the names. You have the holy cow, the big contracts, and so on and so forth. Um, you know, but they're going to get help from the offense. Where they can have they can have a bad game and still get a W with the offense that typically the Yankees could throw out there. But who knows? I mean, they don't have Gleyber Torres. They don't have Anthony Rizzo. They don't have Juan Soto. So let's see what their offense looks like. From that standpoint. Steele would be the only star I don't want from Seattle. Yeah, I understand that, but he might be the only one that they are willing to trade because of dollars. His contract is very, very team friendly if they decide they want to do it. Yeah, but if you're saying Rodon, Schmidt is solid, Gill may have it come back to him. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Yankees have a top 3 starting pitching staff. It's just that's just I mean, it's just there's nothing wrong with that. I would take Seattle's starters over theirs, even though they have Garrett Cole and they have Max Fried. I still think the other guys they have with the youth and everything, I just like those guys. I think those guys are better. Yeah, Cole is a beast. When you look at what he does, you know, um, but he's coming off of a short season. He only started 17 games. So he had an injury. Is that the beginning? But I mean, the dude has been really, really good. That was a great signing. He was good last year. Had a good whip, 1.13. And actually, not that great. It was higher than his career, but it's too hard to know because he he only pitched 17 games and he went 8-5. So, but I mean, the years before, 15-4, 13-8, 16-8. I mean, he's very good. He is definitely very, very good. Uh, and he will go ahead and he'll be the leader of that staff. Uh, you know, he'll be a top pitcher in the American League East, and we'll see what happens. So again, he did have an injury. He only pitched 17 games last year, so we'll see what happens. Uh, but he did pitch 5 in the playoffs. So that is 20. That is 22 starts. Yeah, it's okay. Baseball is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the Dodgers go ahead and how they mesh that team and everything. It's amazing when you look at what they have. They have you have Otani, you have Freeman, you have Betts, you know, and you have a lot of guys who can play a lot of positions after that. They are definitely built really good. They're definitely built. Um, they pretend, and all that deferred money and so on and so forth. I mean, that's the crazy part. I wonder about that. I want, I don't think they can get anything through a CB. I would think that in the next CBA, which is what the end of the 27 season, I think, or is it after the 26 season? I think it's after the 26 season. It'll be interesting to see what happens with a CBA from that standpoint. Will the owners try and figure that whole deferred payment thing out? Because that's going to be, that's just going to be crazy. Or are they going to say, hey, you could defer the money, but you're going to pay the yearly figure is still going to be what is going to be based off of your luxury taxes, because that's where they're going ahead and people going, well, they're still paying luxury tax, yeah, but they're not paying $70 million. I think like Otani's with deferring the money, it went down into the 40s. I mean, still 40 million is a lot, but it's it's still it's a lot less than 70. So we'll see what happens there from that standpoint. Uh, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with some of these young guys. Again, Mike King is supposed to be available. You know, will Pittsburgh make Mitch Keller available? If he's going to want any kind of money, what's going to happen? What is a team? What like Pittsburgh has two? They have three good starters. When you look at Pittsburgh staff, which is crazy, but I mean, Mitch Keller, and then they have and Skeens, and what is it, Jones? That's a pretty decent three. Will they keep Keller? Keller's probably getting to the point to where he should be getting paid. He's been with Pittsburgh now, what, 1, 2, 3 for 6 years. So are they going to have to consider shipping him off? I know he doesn't have the record. I mean, last year he had a losing record. He had a good 23. He didn't have a great 24. But what's going to happen? Wonder if Jordan Montgomery saves anything with talking smack about him. Well, I know he went ahead and he went ahead and accepted the qualifying offer. So he is definitely in that. It's a matter of, you know, will somebody go ahead and would somebody be willing to take him? You know, um, but I don't know. That's another one. I mean, when you look at Arizona, Arizona, they lost their closer and Paul Sewell. what happens there? There's just, I mean, it's amazing. There's just so many. There's teams have made. That when we were talking about Texas, we forgot about Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson signed with Texas. So Arizona lost their, they lost their DH. Um, but doesn't matter if you're talking about Arizona. They're fighting for second place. You're Arizona. You need to be a wild card unless the Dodgers get destroyed by injuries. You're really looking at, you know, all those guys playing for second place. I mean, the Rockies, what the I mean, Rockies are nothing special. You know, who knows what they have? I mean, we already know Charlie Blackmon is gone. He retired, he's done. I think is it Ryan McMahon or is it Brandon Rogers? But I mean, Brandon Rogers might go back. No, Brandon Rogers is a free agent. Who knows what's gonna happen to him? Got Chris Bryant. I mean, you don't really have much of a pitching staff there. So, I mean, from that standpoint. True. They were. They were. They did go ahead and get a bunch of injuries. They just know how to go ahead and play. All right, Larkin. Thank you a lot, buddy. Much appreciate you hanging out. Thank you very much as always. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to baseball season starting. Yeah, like they are probably a top 5. They're probably a top 5 staff, especially when you consider that when they add Corbin Burns to that mix of Burns, Gowan, Merrill Kelly. Everybody forgets Eduardo Rodriguez was there. Then they had the rookie. So there, and Montgomery. I mean, you don't know how much of Montgomery's issues stemmed from him, missing so much time, and not really being able to be prepared. That's an all team. I mean, excuse me. That's an all team. What's up, Jedi Master? He should. Zach Gallen really good again. Merrill, they're another one. They have you know, they have a good staff, and then you take Zach Gallen, you probably bump Zowen. You figure between Gowan and Burns, you're looking at really that's probably 2 number ones. 1A, 1B. So they're gonna be tough. They're not gonna be in. They will not be an easy out. New York Knickerbockers took care of the Denver Nuggets. Nice to see. Working on top loading my Bregman cards and Ryan's. Why are you top loading all your Bregmans? Are you still going to be a fan if he signs elsewhere? Is Bregman coming back, Sean? Is Alex Bregman? I don't see the Dodgers' ridiculous pitching staff staying healthy. But the thing is, Dom, they have so many of them. That's the thing when you unfortunately, you know, when you look at their staff, what do we got here? I mean, you got Yamamoto coming back for another year. I mean, don't get me wrong. They gotta stay healthy. Mutual interest, but the offer is 6 for 156. That's not a bad offer, man. That's not a bad offer. Yeah, that's just it. They got so many. You don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree. You don't know what you're gonna get um, from Otani, right? So anything that you get from him on a positive from a pitching perspective is a big deal. Uh, Yamamoto, year two. Well, look what happened to Kodai Senga year two. All of a sudden, a lot more work than they're used to. Who knows? Sasaki, I'm not sure what the rules are when he's allowed to come up. Does he break camp with the team or what? Here's another one. They got Tyler Glass now. Again, people call him Tyler Glass Arm, but very serviceable. Good would be good. Going to be good. Um, Bobby Miller was good. Last year. You're going to have Kershaw coming back. Now, does that matter? Who knows? Again, if you're going to trot out a 6-man rotation, you know, does it matter? I'm trying to think. I don't remember who else they friggin' signed. Yeah, they got Yates. They got Tanner Scott. They got, a bunch of, other, guys and everything. Uh, didn't they do something else? They get Scott and they get Sasaki. I mean, they got the guy from the KBO. They got the Kim guy. I mean, from him. They got Tusker Hernandez back. I mean, you got Edelman. You got, I mean, it's one of those teams when you start to not like them. That's one of those teams when you go, you know what? I don't really think I like you anymore. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if maybe Yahoo has a better idea of who the hell's on the team. Nope, that's not even changed. Oh, they got Blake Snell also. So you got Otani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, Blake Snell, Glass now. Didn't they had what? You have Kershaw, so who the hell knows? Yeah, they're gonna be tough, man. They're gonna be tough. And you look at that bullpen, they got Bobby Miller, they got Dustin May. You look at that bullpen, you add Tanner Scott, you add Kirby Yates. I mean, it's like, golly, man. Who else? They got Blake Theron, Gavin Stone, Blake Snell, Emmett Sheehan. You do have Tanner. Yeah, again, but Miller, May. Yeah, that's true. Gatterall in the bullpen also. He just only throws 100 and change. Ryan Brazier. I mean, they're yeah. They're going to be interesting. They also signed Michael Conforto. So you got Hernandez, you got that Pages or Pages, how we say his name. You got Conforto, um, uh, and you have Edelman. You have the other Hernandez, Kike Hernandez. I mean, they just I don't know, they just keep adding. They got Chris Taylor. Can't forget Max Muncy. They got the Kim guy. They got Elman. They got Betts. I mean, they got guys who can play everywhere. I mean, it's absolutely redonkulous, man. Gosh, the more I talk about them, the more I can't stand them. Oh well, what are you gonna do? It is what it is, man. There's not a whole lot we're gonna be able to change. You just gotta hope and think that you could get them, uh, that you could catch them at a lull, I guess. Maybe they get burnt out and they have a lull in the playoffs and you make it that way. Cool about playing the Giants in two teams. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that out. So, but well, all right, gang. Hey, episode number 109 is in the books. 4 years. We're starting year 5. Holy cow. Dom, that video, it will come out tomorrow afternoon, the reveal video. Uh, man, you had some really cool cards, buddy. Really, really cool cards. So, but hey, thanks a lot for hanging out. We do have as of right now, have a guest scheduled for next week. Next week we'll be on location, so you'll have to wait, show up to see where Huddle is coming from. Thanks a lot, everybody. Enjoy. Have a great rest of your evening, and enjoy the rest of your week. Talk to you guys next week. Later.